This is Ibn Taiwo online tutorial. Today, what I'm going for you is physics. I want to explain one topic to you, the topic that most of science students love most, and most of science students they complain that the topic is not easy to understand, whereas it's very, very easy to understand. Just follow Ibn Taiwo online and offline tutorial to show you that it is very, very simple. Let's go. Wave. Let's first of all talk about the wave graph. Wave graph. Wave graph. Wave graph. Know that here is time. Then the standard unit of time is what? A second. Then know that distance, this thing is called what? Crest. Each of these is called crest. This one is crest. This one is crest. This one is also crest. When it is up, when we have it down, we call it what? We call it 12. We call it what? 12. Here is 12. This one also what? 12. 12. Here is crest. Here is 12. Why here is also what? 12. Then when we are talking about the crest, know that distance between two successive crests, it means that distance between here and here is called what? Is called wavelength, which will represent by what? Which will represent by what? By lambda. We represent it by what? By lambda. Are you getting me? Now let's now talk about the terminology used in describing a wave. We have different terminology which we use to describe what? A wave. Out of the terminology we use to describe a wave, the first one is what? Is amplitude. Note it. Amplitude. Amplitude is what? Is the maximum displacement. Amplitude is the maximum displacement. Then we represent the symbol to represent amplitude is what? Is capital letter A. Why it is what? Its units. Its unit is what? Is meter. The unit of amplitude is what? Is meter. Then another thing here is what? Is period. We represent period by capital what? By capital letter. Period is what? Is the time required. Is the time required for a particle to complete one cycle or oscillation. That is the time. Then we represent it by what? By capital letter T, where the formula to calculate time is what? 1 over what? 1 over frequency. Are you getting me? While the unit of time is what? The unit is what? Is second. It is measured in seconds. The another one is what? Is frequency. Frequency. Then we represent frequency by what? Capital letter F. While the unit of the frequency is what? The unit of the frequency is hertz. The unit of the frequency is hertz. It says it's hertz. It can also measure in large what? In large units, which what? Which is kilohertz or megahertz. When we are talking about the kilohertz, kilohertz is what? Kilo means that 1,000. Then Y milli means what? 1 million. Is that taken? Another thing here is what? Is velocity. Velocity or speed. Velocity or speed is another thing. Then we represent it by what? You represent it is measured in what? In meter per second. Another thing here is what? Is wavelength. Wavelength. The symbol of wavelength is what? Is lambda. Lambda. Not lambda. It is lambda. 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 Then for the wavelength, the unit of the wavelength is what? Is meter. It is measured in meter. In a question, if you have been given, for instance, now they say your wavelength is equal to 10 centimeter. You need to convert it to meter. If you want to convert centimeter to meter, you just need to divide it by what? By 100. This one cancel, this one is going to give us 0.1 meter. That is how we are going to convert centimeter to meter. Anything you have been given in centimeter, if it is what? Wavelength. If you are given the value of your wavelength in centimeter, as when we know that the standard unit of what of wavelength is what is meter, it is measured in meter, and you are given in centimeter, you need to convert it to meter. How are you going to convert centimeter to meter? Is you just divide the value you are given wavelength by what? By 100. It's going to give you the exact value in what? In meter. Second thing, here, when I was talking about what? About the distance between two successive crests or two successive troughs, it's called what? It's called wavelength. In a question can come across of it. They might not say that your wavelength is, the question can say, find the distance between two successive crests or two successive troughs. If the question asks you to find the distance between two successive crests or troughs, what are they trying to say? They are trying to say that you should calculate what? You should find wavelength. Then the unit of your wavelength is what? The unit of the wavelength is what? Is meter. Unit of wavelength is not centimeter, it is meter. If you are given in centimeter, you need to what? You need to convert it to what? To meter. Then how are you going to convert it to meter? You are going to convert it to meter by what? Divide by 100. Now let's now talk about the relationship between don't forget that to calculate for the frequency, formula to calculate for the frequency is 1 over what? 1 over period. 1 over period. To calculate for the frequency is what? 1 over period. To calculate for the period is 1 over what? 1 over frequency. Now, from here, relationship between what? Between frequency, wavelength, and speed or velocity is given by phi is equal to f lambda. Are you following me? The relationship between frequency, wavelength, and speed or velocity is what? Velocity is equal to what? Frequency multiplied by wavelength. Then the question asks you to calculate for the frequency. Frequency is equal to what? Velocity over what? Over wavelength. Note down this formula. Then know that depends on the nature of the parameters we are be given. If the question asks us to calculate for the frequency and we are be given period, it means that we are going to apply 1 over what? 1 over period. If the question asks us to calculate for the frequency and we are be given lambda, it means that we are going to apply this formula. We say that frequency is equal to velocity over lambda. Depends on the nature of the what? Of the question that we are be given. Then recall from velocity is equal to what? F lambda. Recall that frequency is equal to 1 over what? 1 over period. You recall frequency is equal to 1 over period. Then from here now, therefore velocity is equal to 1 over period multiplied by lambda. Velocity is equal to what? Lambda over what? Over period. It means that we can have this formula also to calculate for the velocity. If the parameters we are be given is wavelength, we are be given wavelength and the question asks us to calculate for the velocity. If we are be given both wavelength and what? And period, we are going to use this formula to calculate for the velocity. But if what we are be given is frequency and wavelength, we are going to apply this formula to calculate for the velocity. Now, we have two formulas to calculate for the velocity. Velocity is equal to what? Lambda over period, or velocity is equal to what? Frequency times lambda. Depend on the nature of the what? Of the parameters of the question that we are be given. Now, let's now look at some questions. Let's now look at some questions to test all our formulae. Let's now look at some questions. Have you seen the question?
Yes.
The question said that what is the period of the wave motion of frequency 50 Hz? Hope you can see the question very well. The question said that what is the period of the wave motion of frequency 50 Hz? The question asks us to calculate for the what? For the period when we are be given our frequency as what? As 50 Hz. Hope you can see the question very well. Now, our frequency is equal to what? 50 Hz. The question says what is the period? to calculate for our period, when we have been given frequency, what is our formula? Recall, frequency is equal to 1 over what? 1 over period. You now say, hey, what they ask us to calculate is what? The period. What is the formula to calculate for the period? Period is equal to 1 over what? Frequency. The period is equal to 1 over frequency. What is our frequency? 50. Then 1 divided by 50 is 0.02. Is 1 divided by 50 0.02? Let me use calculator. 1 divided by 50. 1 divided by 50. 1 divided by 50. It is 0.02. Then what is the unit of what of period? Is what? Second. The unit of period is what? Is second. Let's look at another question. Can we see the question? What is the what? What is the velocity of a wave having wavelength 20 centimeter and frequency 3 hertz? What is the velocity? The question asks to find for what? Velocity when our wavelength is what? 20 centimeter. Now, wavelength 20 what? 20 centimeter. Then frequency. Can you see it very well? Can you see it? Frequency 3 hertz. Frequency is equal to 3 what? 3 hertz. Then the question asks to calculate for the what? Frequency, velocity. Relationship, if you don't forget, our formula now will be what? Velocity is equal to frequency multiplied by lambda, which is what? Wavelength. And recall, I said the unit of wavelength is what? Is meter. If you look at the unit of wavelength is what? Centimeter. When we have been given the unit of wavelength as centimeter, we need to convert it to what? To meter. Or how are we going to convert it? We divide it by what? 100. 20 divided by what? 100 is 0.2. Is that the key? Now, velocity now is equal to what's our frequency now? Our frequency 3 multiplied by what is our wavelength? Is 0.2. Velocity is equal to is 0.6 meter per what? Meter per second. Is that the key? Now, let's look at another question. Another question here. Can you see it? Another question here. What is the frequency of radio wave of wavelength 150 meter? We have been given wavelength as what? 150 meter. If the velocity of the radio waves in free space is what? 3 times 10 raised to power 8. We have been given what? Wavelength. Wavelength is equal to 150 meter. We have been given velocity is what? 3 times 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. Then the question asks, what is the frequency? Frequency. Then to calculate for the frequency, what is our formula? Velocity is equal to frequency lambda. Then, if you make velocity subject to the formula, it will be frequency subject to the formula, it will be velocity over what? Lambda. What's our velocity? 3 times 10 raised to power 8 multiplied by what? 150. Then frequency is equal to 3 times 10 raised to power 8 divided by what? 1.50 times 10 raised to power what? Raised to power 2. Is that taking? Frequency is equal to 3 divided by 1.5 multiplied by 10 raised to power 8 minus 2. 3 divided by 1.5 multiplied by 10 raised to power 6. Now, where's your calculator? 3 divided by 1.5. That one is what? Is 2. Then frequency now is equal to 2 times 10 raised to power 6. What is the unit of frequency? Hertz. The unit of frequency is what? Is hertz. Is that taken? Now,